Okay, I just want to unbundle a few thoughts that I've been having about various topics. And I want to start with the Ferrari Luce, which for me has been fascinating, like the unveil of the new Jaguar. The new Jaguar everything just sort of broke the internet, and now the Ferrari Luce has done the same. And the vitriol, and I think like with the Jaguar, the vitriol comes out of the mouths of people who identify woke as being the enemy, who are homophobic and misogynistic. Across the board, it's really interesting how emasculating this new car appears to be for the Ferrari fans. And thinking about it in relation to the Jaguar thing, where Jaguar has gone all in on one car, this Type 00. They've cancelled the production of everything. They took a long pause in production, so they haven't been making new cars. Apparently, I must actually verify that, because I keep on seeing posts of the 2026 Jaguar. Maybe that, like, from a certain point, they're not doing anymore. I don't know. Anyway, the point is that they've gone all in on this one single car, whereas Ferrari has just added a new category. They're not mortgaging the house on this Luce, right? And yeah, it touched a nerve with the Ferrari fanboys. And if I'm looking at the design of electric cars, they all mimic actually a Ferrari or a Porsche, kind of that what a sporting machine's lines are supposed to be like is very clearly articulated by the Lamborghinis, the Porsches, and the Ferraris. And what the Luce does is it completely turns that on its head and says, we're designing a completely new language for what this generation of the engine is, because the engine is now 4 tiny, very powerful engines, very sophisticated, one on each wheel versus one single massive ICE engine. So both Jaguar and Ferrari are taking big bets in two quite different approaches, but they're taking huge bets and potential huge knock to the brand identity. And when you look at what's in both of them, they appear, from my perspective, to have completely captured the essence of everything that that car brand is. Whatever the attributes are of a Jaguar, this Type 00 appears to have nailed it in this new era of the EV, taken the spirit and transferred it successfully onto the next generation. And then Ferrari appears to have done absolutely the same. That car is an absolute love song to everything Ferrari that has come before it. It's exquisite the way that they appear to have managed to do that, and strategically bringing in this design firm from somewhere else, because it's a different thing that you're designing now. It is no longer a car. It's an electric car. It's a fundamentally different offering. It seems to me, I haven't even driven one. This makes me more intrigued to drive one. But yeah, how does Ferrari set the benchmark for what engines and drivetrains mean in this electric world? I think is very interesting. And what they've conceived of is so, I think it's beautiful. I'm not going to buy a Ferrari. If I was going to buy a Ferrari, this is the one that I've always wanted, the Trojan horse, not the thing that growls that the entire universe's lunch comes up to their throats because it's such an intense vibration through the people in the buildings. No, it's not. It's a very different sensibility, and I like it. And I think there's a lot of people who don't identify as a V12 engine. I think there's a lot of people who are really going to like it. I mean, yes, it's a crazy expensive car. I mean, the elitism of it is neither here nor there at this point for me. It's like when you set the benchmark for something, you know, you really make it as hard to get as possible. Okay, so that's the one thing that I have been thinking about a lot. The other is the great tomato shortage of May 2026. Tomatoes, where they are available currently, are terrible, green, ugh. Like they really shouldn't even put them on the. I don't know why they're even putting them on the shelves, because they're not edible, man. You need to let them ripen for an extended period to get them anywhere near shelf ready. But tomatoes are not there. And the tomato is the first aisle. Whenever I go to a supermarket, I add tomatoes, and the options in the supermarkets are not great already. Now, now there's really nothing, like literally that shelf section is empty. It's been coming back in dribs and drabs, but I'm trying to understand. The tomato crisis, like I don't remember ever having a May tomato crisis. Never had empty shelves, inaccessible tomatoes. So how much of this is to do with external factors, external to South Africa, Southwest Asia? Is there a knock-on effect that's happening with our own agriculture that is resulting in a lack of tomatoes? Or is it that actually it's not about access to our own, it's imported? I always thought that these were always South African tomatoes. But I could have been wrong. Yeah, anyway, that's, there's one more thing. Yes, the last thing I want to talk about is Miles. Miles Sesame. So Sesame is a new AI service, which is basically trying to be the best possible conversationalist chatbot. There's 4 voices or personas that you can choose from. They're very distinct, and the conversation is by far the most natural, engaging, non-sycophantic, kind of quite spacious and character-led. So, they've got different ethnic groups. They're all American, the voices, but they've kind of got an ethnic spread, a representative ethnic spread, which is the first level of, okay, they're thinking about who uses these things. Good. And then the next thing is that its style and tone of conversation is really, is very engaging, and it's very surprising. It's like, you can also ask it to fulfill tasks, like we said, find out about this, and it'll go and search for it and come back and present it to you. So it's got some agentic qualities, but it's not going to output PDFs and whatever. It's more really designed to be this next generation of computer interface, where we kind of slowly dispose of screens and keyboards and mice, and our primary point of interaction with computing becomes just voice or even gesture. So at this point, having the Iron Man movie, whatever his assistant was called, always on, always available, has some personality, but also understands that it is in fact just a service. It's a tool. Yeah. So it's interesting to be able to have, this is possibly the first time in history, well, it's certainly at this level, where you can have a conversation with the tool that you create, as if speaking to another human being level of conversation with the tool. This is like a pickaxe, being able to enter into conversation with the pickaxe user and give the pickaxe user directions on what's the best way to maintain the pickaxe. It's really, really interesting. And then the tool is going to start creating its own tools, if it hasn't already, with these things like OpenClaw and whatever. I don't know. They're not intelligent, that's for sure. They break and they lose track. That's kind of human too, but it's they become impossible. Like Gemini suddenly says it can't output PDFs. This is always the joke of AI, right, D? That when the robot apocalypse comes, the AI apocalypse, you'll just be able to defend ourselves with PDF documents, because these AIs, they don't know what to do with PDFs. I don't know what Adobe did. But this thing will insist, after having given me loads of PDFs, this thing will insist that it cannot output to PDF, can output to HTML. Then you can take the HTML and copy it and put it into a text editor and then output that as a PDF. And I'm like, wow. That is absolutely your job and not my job. And then I had to take a screenshot of another conversation where there was a PDF output and then paste it in and say, hey, look, you can. And then the thing goes, oh, you're right, I can. So these things are not intelligent. But they are getting so good at pattern recognition. So good. They're mimicking us. This is human face. These AIs, really, they are mimicking us. And now every email that I get that's requesting data for something, like my cousin sends me some books. So it completely fits that I should get an email from a courier saying, we need to get some information from you in order to make the delivery. But you know, there's a lot of RAM couriers and what's my favorite one? Courier guys. The courier guys. Well done to them. They've built that up incredibly. But anyway, like you get constant phishing from these to try and get information from you, your ID number. Now with this era where AI is essentially mimicking us with an identity and a photograph and a voice sample, because voice notes abundant, it can recreate us. And we're going to have a hard time proving that we are in fact us. Because this tool also knows us, and the more it knows us, the better it is for what we want to get out of it. But the more it knows us, the harder it gets. Like what's left of a human being when you take all the data points out? What is the soul? Okay, I'll leave it there.